I think it's a valuable question to be able to ask ourselves today. What is leadership? Oh my goodness, we're in a culture right now where we really do need to answer that question. Hey, make sure you head on over to mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy. Take the 7-minute Healthy Business Owner Assessment. And I think it'll be really helpful for you. In 1964, the Supreme Court of the United States, they handed down a ruling that had reversed a previous ruling by the state of Ohio banning the showing of what they deemed an obscene film entitled The Lovers that was being screened at the Heights Art Theater in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. After yielding remarkably different opinions across the bench of the Supreme Court of the United States, Justice Potter Stewart's opinion was most unique, stating this: "I shall not today attempt further to define the kinds of material I understand to be, in my parentheses, obscene, and perhaps I could never succeed in intelligibly doing so, but I know it when I see it. And the motion picture involved in this case is not that. In other words, I know obscenity when I see it, although it's hard to define it." There are troves of content available and promoted on the idea of leadership. Leadership, although hard to define, is a trait among people that one could easily mimic Justice Stewart's opinion by saying, "I shall not define leadership, but I know it when I see it." Leadership is birthed out of the Latin word ductus, which suggests the ideas of guiding or conducting, drawing, pulling, taking, commanding, marching, or forging. Leadership can be hard to define because leadership is complex, and it explains why developing leaders requires focus, attention, and a roadmap. In its simplest, purest form, the dictionary defines leadership as the action of leading a group of people or an organization. It may also be helpful to have a peek into what leadership is not. Leadership is not coercing, it's not forcing, cajoling, conniving, and leadership is not deceiving. Leadership is not commanding, controlling, dictating, or forcing. That's an authoritative mandate, not leadership. Leadership is guiding. It's going before. Remember that word ductus. It's almost like a duct that water would go through. Leadership is embracing a continual state of risk because under healthy leadership, followers always have an option. How can you tell the difference between a leader and a manager? A leader casts vision, influences behavior, and inspires accountability and action. A manager ensures that strategic elements of the vision are mapped out and executed. The 1960s in the United States were a time of significant civil unrest and also a time of significant leadership. Think as President John F. Kennedy cast his moonshot vision in 1961, or Martin Luther King Jr. leading his infamous March on Washington in 1963. JFK never set pen to paper with rocket engineering plans or fuel displacement calculations, and yet he led thousands of young scientists to do what was impossible. Martin Luther King Jr. set aflame using the words of his mouth to ignite a peaceful resistance among thousands toward a racially integrated and unified vision, acknowledging that we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Leadership is a conviction towards healthy transformation, towards creating opportunity, towards inviting those who desire a peace-filled future into a life of forward motion. Dr. King compelled such motion through his vivid invitation saying, "If you can't fly, then run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." So what is leadership? Well, here's a potential definition to guide us then based on that. Leadership is one person or a group of people who are compelling, willing followers to keep moving forward to a defined and shared vision. Over the coming modules and time, we will be walking through and defining the ingredients of what healthy leadership looks like so you can begin to feast and compel others to move forward. Leadership may still be hard to define, but we'll know it when we see it. One action you can take right now is to write a one-sentence definition in your own words of what you think leadership is and share it at your next team meeting.